Hi, I'm Serena Portal, and this is the message you need to hear. Today, this message almost wasn't recorded. I'm not sure if that's really true or not, but I thought about it because today there has been a lot of energy fluctuation in my space and in my house. And it's basically just some people moving in, some people moving out, some people staying temporarily, friends of my son here, and just overwhelming for me. And some things in my personal life that have been a little overwhelming, and I really was just feeling like bringing the covers up over my head and staying in bed, and definitely not doing anything as public as creating a video that I would put on YouTube. However, I made a commitment, and that's the 100 somethings commitment, that I am doing a video every day. And I decided it's important to honor that. I feel really strongly about that. This is the 7th video, so there's that whole thing about what the 7-year itch, 7th inning stretch. I guess at 7, sometimes we get a crisis point. But what I realized with all these transitions and the way it was affecting my energy is to note again how sensitive I can be. And I know a lot of you who might be watching this are also fairly sensitive beings. And the point of this message, if there is one, is that that's okay. And to just notice that about ourselves when it comes up, and to let it be okay, because I know that I automatically push myself out of it. That's sort of a habit of mine from the time I was young. I think I was raised to be tough and to not show any vulnerability and to be competitive, and you can do anything any boy can do, and that sort of thing. So these past few years, I've been getting in touch with my more sensitive side, and I can be really sensitive. And I wasn't even aware of that before. And so I think it would kind of chip away at me from underneath. And I think that's really common in our society, that we don't allow our sensitivity and we don't allow our vulnerability. And I think that's also why it's important that those of us who have that allow it to be seen, because that is a permission slip for other people to know that sensitivity and vulnerability is okay. And that's actually what we need in this world more than anything. We really don't need a ton of badasses who have no sensitivity. There needs to be a mix within each of us and within our society as a whole. So the commitment that I made to 100 somethings, I'm really happy about, because it has been a focus for me and a growth edge and a place that brought me to this moment of showing this side of myself, which is something that I try to do because I like to be a role model for allowing all sides of ourselves to be seen, and a role model for not just communicating the happy, joy, but communicating whatever is there that takes us to a much deeper sense of who we are and a much deeper way of connecting with each other that is so much more authentic and so much more satisfying. So if you're feeling sensitive or you're feeling vulnerable, know that it's okay to let that be seen. I have a good friend who's a psychologist, and many years ago we were chatting, and I was in this sort of a state and I had to go to work. At the time I was working as a weight loss consultant, and he mentioned that sometimes he feels we do our best work when we're in this state, and we don't want to do that work with other people maybe at the time, but there's something about being cracked open a little bit. There's something about being raw and vulnerable that allows other people to, again, have that permission to have that side of themselves, and perhaps even brings us closer to a deeper sensitivity to the truth of all of our beingnesses, if that's a word. So, whatever's in your life today, if it's bringing up vulnerability or sensitivity, it's okay to let that be seen. And it's okay to follow through on your commitments, even though you're in that state. It's okay to be present and show up in whatever state you're in. It's okay if you really need to cancel whatever you need to cancel as well. I certainly do that often enough. But there is a real gift to everyone involved when we show up and be real and raw and authentic. Much love to you today and all days.